guys, are you ready for this? Are you ready? I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. Okay, so I have realized that I have a couple hundred more subscribers since the last time I've done one of these weekly Potager updates. So I'll be doing this, fingers crossed, once a week. I will give you an update on everything going on in the Potager. And you might want to pack lunch. Pour yourself a drink, hot, cold, room temperature, bread, whatever, because these get long. These are sometimes 45 minutes, and I apologize, but I have a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to say. Okay, so, for those of you who don't know, I am in Southeast Texas. I'm right between zones 9A and 8B. I'm more on the 8B side, so I'm about 50 miles northeast of Houston. I do work in Houston, so it's a long trek to work every day, but I get to live in this this country paradise here. So, okay, so we're here. Let me put down my drink so I can show you around. Okay, so here's the entrance. We have Graham Thomas climbing over the arch. That's my David Austin Rose Graham Thomas. He is almost exactly 1 year old in this garden. The lanterns that I hung up, I found out last night that they flicker like little flames. My husband got that one working. He needs to work on that one. That one's not working. Anyway, they flicker like little flicker flames, and I love that. So, entrance, my gate that keeps the dogs out. This whole Potager was my husband's design. I helped him build it, but he built it, and it's my favorite thing. So, anyway, so David Austin Rose. Graham Thomas has some blooms there. I had one open the other day that surprised me. I didn't even know it was there. It was like way up top. Walker's Low, Nepeta here, catmint, and then I have a perennial salvia here, blue better, and then some bunching onions that just kind of made their way in here. This is ham and eggs lantana that came back from last year. Had to cut all the sticks back, and it's coming back from the roots, so that's cool. Now, look here. These are my Borlato bush beans. These are the ones that I soaked in water, and they swelled up like twice the size. So definitely soak your beans. Look at those. So Borlato bush beans there, looking great. My one Blue Lake bush bean. This one, I don't know if I'd recommend soaking because most of them rotted when I soaked them, but this one's fine. I also apparently sprinkled in some basil because that is definitely basil. This is zinnia. You're gonna see zinnia throughout the garden that reseeded from last year because I didn't plant that there. My kohlrabi has really taken off. I planted this last fall, and they just kind of sat kind of stagnant all winter and didn't really do anything. And once the heat started kicking in and the sunlight started kicking in, the kohlrabi's really grown. This trellis is new for 2022, or teepee. It's like a bamboo teepee. And this is where I planted the rattlesnake pole beans. And look how much they've come up since the last video. The last video that you saw, I shot probably 2 weeks ago. Maybe a little less than 2 weeks ago. I'll have to look at the date. But anyway, I bought some yarn because twine was like $5 and the yarn I found for like $1.97. So I'm gonna twirl some yarn all the way up just to help the beans have something to climb onto up the pole. So that's the plan there. The tall stuff, the tall foliage stuff here is also that same salvia, blue better. And this stayed evergreen all winter, all winter. It's really like put on some size, but that stays evergreen. This ferny stuff here is some yarrow that I moved from another part of the Potager just to kind of spread it out a little bit. So the yarrow I will be using for tea. I didn't use it last year, but see, I have a dehydrator now, so I'm gonna start dehydrating. You know, the foliage, the roots, and the flowers are all medicinal and beneficial, so there's that. And then right here is my Thai Soldier long beans. Now the package said it was a bush variety, not the trailing, but I'm not sure. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, these came up nice. Here I have fenugreek. And this fenugreek, I think already started to bloom. It looked like a little flower. I don't know, we'll see. Here I have dill. I tried to plant a whole bunch of dill. Last year I planted dill and I didn't quite plant enough, and I had some swallowtail butterfly caterpillar babies, and I think they all died because I didn't have enough dill, because there were like 4 of them and like maybe 2 tiny little plants, and that was a little traumatizing. So I planted lots of dill. There's lots of dill in here sprinkled. All right, over here, this is kind of, it was like, I was calling it my tea garden because I had things here last year that for making tea. This stump here is actually a jasmine made of Orleans. It's a Sambucus jasmine, and it's coming back from the roots, but it makes the white fragrant jasmine flowers that you can use to make jasmine tea. This tall ferny stuff here is tansy. These are one of the things I would probably recommend not buying. I don't think I'll ever buy them again. The flower was not quite interesting enough for a cut flower, and I think it maybe at one time had medicinal purposes and then was discovered might be a little bit poisonous, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but it is perennial and it stayed mostly evergreen this winter, so do what you want with that information. This green carpet here is all oregano. This is the vulgare or common oregano from Baker Creek. It is everywhere. It stayed pretty much green all winter. It smells great. And you can use it for tea, not just as a spice. This is yarrow again. This yarrow here is just the common white yarrow, the species yarrow. And then this is one that has pastel colors. This one is pink. And it looks like it wants to bloom. It's making a bud, so that's awesome. In this pot here, I have lemon balm that came back from last year, and also that's lemon balm as well. This is, it's a hummingbird mint, the agastache, the hummingbird mint, and I forgot the name of the color. I'll have to find it and put it on the screen. So this I grew from seed last year. Over here, I had seeded some wild bergamot. I really think all that is weeds in there, anything green. I have some in my office though that I'm seeding in a container with a lid because it seems to do better to germinate in the house. Anyway, lemon bee balm. I have 3 that I successfully germinated in the house and planted out. They're doing really well. I do have some of my dwarf French marigolds sprinkled all along this back row here. I just dug them up from where I have my little marigold nursery going and planted them on the back because they will be companions for my tomatoes that are on the back row. And we'll go over those later. That's a whole other situation. Okay, so in between these 2 sticks is zinnias, and I put those sticks there just so I would know where those zinnias were. These are my special zinnias that aren't reseeded from last year. They're the ones that I purchased, actual seed packets. So this is the pink senorita, and it looks like I planted them 316, and they're doing well. They're doing very well. I'm gonna apologize for the sun, it's like right behind me. I did have some chamomile here, and it petered out and died. I guess it got too hot. I'll probably pull that tag. My idea was here is to have the tomatoes on the back row, then have a band of marigolds, and then have a band of basil, and then have a band of like peppers and eggplant and stuff. That's the plan. We'll see how that ends up working out. So Lesia, this is the Aji Kajuka pepper. I have 3 little baby ones. We have had a couple of mornings close to 40 degrees, but then we get up to like 85, so I think they're just still trying to figure out if they hate me or not. You'll find that a lot here. Here's my purple beauty pepper, and oh my gosh, there's so much going on. Oh, sorry about that. California Wonder Pepper, and for some of these, hold on. So for some of these peppers that I only have onesies and twosies of, I do have peppers in my office that are started under lights to hopefully get some more going. And then Cubanelle pepper here, which is doing pretty well. I did sprinkle in some garlic chives from seeds that I saved from last year. I don't see any of those coming up yet. I do see a lot of weeds though. I'm kind of cautious at this time of year to pull anything green. I have to wait till I know for sure it's a weed before I pull it. as you can understand. This German chamomile is doing great. So hopefully it doesn't die, because I think it's the only one I have left. So there's that. And then between these two sticks here is another specialty zinnia. This is the Cinderella lilac that I also planted 316. There's not as many that came up, and they are a little bit of a smaller seedling, but fingers crossed, because they look beautiful on the packet. So now we have come to one of the structures that I built. I am so proud of this. I am so proud of this. And it does seem a little rickety and wonky, but I'm hoping it does hold up. And yes, I'm walking in my bed. I know I'm not supposed to do that. What you didn't see in the video is this tall stick that I put in here as an extra stabilizer. Besides the T-post here, there's also this tall wooden stick, and it's just held together with zip ties, people. Not a single nail in this bad boy. And it's all zip ties. So we'll see how that goes. And I had the bright idea this morning to hang this wind chime here. My mom got me this like years ago. It's the cutest little owl. Cute. And it's got like little garden things. And today I was like, oh my gosh, it would look perfect in the actual garden, hanging from one of the structures I built. And I think that is precious. Precious. So on the outside of this trellis, on this side here, I planted some Charentais, those French muskmelon that I got from my friend from France, and I'm pretty sure they're all dead. And I sent some to Danny at Wicked Awesome Gardening, and then I had to apologize to Danny. I'm pretty sure they're all dead. They're all dead. But, and yes, I'm sweating already, just like 6 minutes into the tour. Danny, I ordered some new ones, and they just arrived yesterday from a guy in Houston that had some of the Charentais. So I'll be sending you some. And maybe some roselle, because you have that new garden spot now. So just saying. Okay, bye. Okay, so the new Charentais I'm going to plant there later. In the little nook area in here, all this ferny stuff is more yarrow. I direct seeded some Fizzy Rose Picotee Cosmos and Summer Dreams Cosmos, and then some Queen Lime and Polar Bear Zinnia. So a lot of babies are already coming up, which is awesome. In the very back there, I had some Gerber Daisy seed that I'd saved a couple years ago, and some Chinese forget-me-nots. We'll see if those actually come up. I don't know. Now, look at this asparagus. This is my purple passion that came up the other day. Now, these did not come up at all last year. So this year, even though this is of a decent size, I'm letting them all go to flower. This one's already gone to flower. See, it gets that ferny stuff there. It'll get little yellow flowers on it. I've got to let all that energy from the sun go back down into the roots, so that next year maybe I can get thicker asparagus like these bad boys. This is, I believe, Martha Washington. Is that what they're called, Martha Washington? Anyway, these came up last year regularly. They were small. They were kind of like this one here. See how they're kind of skinny and wispy? They were like this all last year. So I let them all go to flower, let all that energy go back into the roots, and then this year I get these big, thick ones that are nice. Now, because I thought the Purple Prince or Purple Passion wasn't going to come up, so I planted Black Nebula carrots. How cray-cray was that? Like, carrots make a big, thick root that goes down, and this, I have roots down that are going to try to come up, so that could be a problem. Those carrots may mess with those asparagus, but it's done. I'm not sure if I want to undone it, because it looks like some of the carrots have started to germinate. Ugh, that's crazy. Anyway, more of the marigolds. All these little things that look like that are marigolds, and I'm going to tell you, all along that fence, billions of them, billions, all along right here. Millions and billions of marigolds. All right, these are garlic chives. These are the ones that went to flower last year, and I had sprinkled some seeds in there. Anyway, these are doing very well. Planted in here is some purple top white turnip. That's these little bow tie seedlings here. I did plant some baby Bubba okra that I had sprouted with the paper towel method, and it has not come up at all. So I think the mornings are still too cool for it. These little purple bow tie things are the red giant mustard. Seems like, is that a baby Bubba okra? We have one. Boom. Baby Bubba okra. I do have one. Fantastical. Okay. These are my bunching onions that are very tall and large and beautiful and in flower. And the bees have been all over it today. Here we are. Hey. So the bees are out and about, which is fantastic. Right here, all these little speckledy speckles are the farmer's market blend of lettuce. They did so well on the pots on the porch. I figure it is, what, first week in April. Maybe I could get some lettuces before it gets too hot. Fingers crossed. Also some zinnias that reseeded from last year. This is where I had the Lilliput mixed colors that was so adorable, so adorable. So hopefully that's what those are, and they come back. I have to step in here. Right here we have the Chinese red noodle bean that has come up. These are gonna get really long, like 2 or 3 feet long red noodle beans. And it is growing up the trellis that I built. The two sides were from an arch trellis that my neighbor over there gifted me. And it was already kind of old, and a storm had blown it over and broken it. So the top arch part was cracked. But I kept the two side pieces, and I decided to go grab those, set them up. They're just held together with a zip tie and some support sticks. I have a T-post there, and then I have just a bamboo thing there. And then just a scrap piece of trellis. Probably a piece that I broke off in one of those. Anyway, I think it's gonna work. It's gonna be fine. So in this little center aisle here, right along here, these are my vintage white straw flowers that I grew from seed. So they're doing really well. Very, very happy with those. On this other side of the trellis, I have the sugar magnolia tendril pea, which is, well, it's grown quite a lot even since yesterday. And then on the other side of that is some more rattlesnake pole beans, because I need all the beans. I had not nearly enough beans last year, so I went a little crazy with the beans. Look at my squash. Look at all the squashes. It's fantastical. They've gotten so big in the last few days because we've been so warm and sunny with a little bit of rain. It's been wonderful. So here is Pattison Panache Frenchy French squash. I've got 2 of those. They're doing really well. This is the yellow early prolific yellow squash. I have 2 of those. They're doing well. Now all these little things interspersed here, this is the white icicles radish, and they've actually grown pretty big in just the last couple weeks. It's pretty cool. Look at this caserta squash. These are getting big, and I like on the leaves. That is not like mildew or mold or any kind of fungus. That is what the leaves look like, and it's really pretty. And it is gonna flower soon. Got some little buds trying to form down there, so that's kind of fun. Okay. So those are doing really well. I have 3 caserta. This is the white scallop. It's like a patty pan. I've got 3 of those. Interspersed with those, this radish is the French breakfast, and it's already gotten so big. Like, it was just a couple weeks ago I filmed that other video, and we already have red radish. There, we already have red radish. Isn't that fun? Moving on down here is cauliflower. This is called Rober. Now, they are getting pretty big, but honestly, we get so hot so fast here. I may have missed the boat on getting a cauliflower, because it's just gonna get so hot here. It's really gonna get hot. So we'll see if I get anything. I am so proud of this bok choy. Look at this bok choy. This bok choy is huge. Now these other ones are doing fine. They're doing well, but man, that's the star. That's the star bok choy right now. Jewels of Opar. Not a vegetable, but definitely here, making itself known. Reseeds quite readily, and aggressively here in Texas. But I think I may have found a home for them. I have an Instagram friend who is local. She's in Houston, and I think her company is called Emergenseed. And what she does is she sells plants and seeds and things, and part of the proceeds go to a fund for emergency workers, like EMTs and stuff like that. So I told her I had 1 billion of these seeds, and would she like a few thousand? So for free, please take them. And she looked them up and saw that they had some medicinal properties. So I have not looked that up yet, but feel free to look it up and see what those medicinal properties are. I mainly bought them because they have these pretty little baby's breath type flowers that come up from the foliage, and they really are beautiful. They're just like little jewel beads. They're so, so pretty, but wow, invasive a little bit. Okay, so Lacinato kale, doing pretty good. I need to firm these down a little better or stake them up or something. It's a little floppity. And then this is a Swiss chard called Perpetual Spinach. It's still kind of small, and I know it gets really, really big because our friends in Arizona, theirs is absolutely huge, and mine is still tiny, so that sucks. And then lettuce. This is Little Gem. I have like 2 seedlings that made it from the trays from my office, and then I just reseeded. I just direct seeded some stuff in here. I think some of these might be weeds, some of them might be lettuce. I think that's probably lettuce. I'm not sure what this is. It could be the radicchio, because I did direct seed some of that too, because this is the only radicchio still alive. That rainstorm really messed some things up, but Cosmic Crimson lettuce mix, I think all of that got killed. Here's some of my garlic chives from the seeds that I spread, from the seeds that I saved, so that's fun. My Romanesco broccoli, my one and only that I got, it seems to be doing pretty good. But again, it is getting hot here pretty fast, so I don't know if I'll get ahead on that. My red burgundy onion from the office, it's like hanging in there, but I think it hates me. I don't know. This is my cabbage. This is Coeur d'About. Again, I think it's gonna get too hot too fast, but we'll see what happens. All this ferny stuff on the back is yarrow. This is where I dug up that other yarrow to put over there. More tansy here. So this part of the garden I have not done as much cleanup on. I kind of want to clean out more of that yarrow. It's taking up a lot of valuable real estate that I want for more vegetables and things. This is my dwarf curled kale, which is really doing great. I need to pick some of this and start making stuff with it. I don't ever use my kale. It's like I use it as ornamental, and I'm not using it for food. This is, can you guess? Yes, cilantro has bolted because it's hot. This started bolting, I believe, beginning of March, maybe end of February, because it's just too warm here. But I will be saving seed for coriander. These blooms are just the prettiest thing, but the pollinators do love it. It's really pretty. I would plant more of this even in some of my other garden beds, just because it's like a pretty flower. It's just really pretty. Here's my other Brussels sprout. This is not Brenda, but this is another Brussels sprout that I've been growing. There are some sprouts in here, but they're really like smushed and compacted, so it's not a very elongated stalk like Brenda, but the leaves are edible. I mean, I could pluck the leaves and cook them. Have some sweet alyssum that reseeded from last year. This is more of that salvia, the little critter on it. Not sure what that critter is. And I have more of the onions, the allium, and something new for this year, boom, compost. So whenever I've been digging and scraping weeds and leaves out of here, and when I dug up the sod for the corn and all of that went in there. So there's leaves, there's mulch, there's a birdhouse gourd, a broken birdhouse gourd. All of my yard waste is going right there, and then I water it down whenever I'm watering the plants. And I'm just gonna make my own compost right there in the bed. And in this area is where I had that giant orb weaver last year that scared the Oh, but she's sad at me. I don't like them. I know spiders are beneficial, but those giant riding spider orb weavers. Anyway, she had 4 or 5 egg sacs all over the place. And I found them when I took down the vines. I had some cardinal vine and cypress vine. Anyway, I got rid of the egg sacs, but I have no idea if there's going to be like giant orb weaver babies everywhere. So I figure I'll put the compost there. That way I can kind of see. I'm going to keep this area clear and clean. Because if I see any of those babies, they got to go. Because they scare me and they keep me from enjoying my garden. Because they scare me like really bad. Anyway, see all this green here? This is all wood sorrel. It's like a clover. Wood sorrel. So all that will be dug up and put in there because they are nitrogen fixers, so they'll add some good nutrients to my compost. This is arugula that has gone to seed, and it, like the cilantro, I would grow this arugula and let it bolt just because the flowers are so beautiful. So pretty. Yeah. More kohlrabi, lots of wood sorrel, and then my other dwarf curled kale that is, I think it's coming up on 3 years. Yeah, 3 years old. I had it in my old garden bed that's way over there. I had a little bitty garden bed, and I had dug this up when we built this potager and put it over here, and it was real teeny tiny. Anyway, that's doing well. Some of the catmint, the Walker's Low, has crawled its way over here. More lantana there. More Walker's Low there. And now we've come to Brenda. Hey, Brenda. Brenda's looking lovely. Probably need to stake her a little bit better. But as you can see, this is a sprouted sprout. When the Brussels sprouts get old, or I guess when it gets hot, you can see there's a tight Brussels sprout there. That's tight. And then it starts to open up a little bit. It starts to open up and loosen up a little bit. And then it really opens up, right? And then it turns into this and this. And it looks like, look guys, it looks like if I left this there, this would actually make its own Brussels sprouts as a side shoot. So anyway, this is what I cut off. These things here, I would cut these off and I put them in my office, and they have rooted beautiful, so many roots. But I'm tempted to leave this particular one on here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave this on here and see if I can get some Brussels sprouts from the sprouted sprout. How cool is that? Anyway, I'm focusing too much on Brenda. I love Brenda. I love her. So this trellis here, I don't have a lot planted. This is where I had the blue butterfly pea last year. I think I saw some in the grass, which wouldn't surprise me. Grass, I use that term loosely, in the weeds. I think I saw some blue butterfly pea coming up, and even a birdhouse gourd. I think I hit it with the weed whacker earlier. That reminds me, back here, I did not weed whack these weeds here because I thought they were so cool. Look at this. I think this is like some sort of wild onion. Look at that. It has that allium onion type head on it. Yeah. And it's just so cool. Anyway, I thought that was fun. Okay, so let's go on the outside. I want to show you a few things. Okay, so not much to see just yet. Last year I had a huge roselle hibiscus, made beautiful flowers and beautiful roselle pods. This year I'm growing about 8. Those seedlings are still in my office. So I think I want to build like a long rectangular bed along this fence and just have a roselle orchard kind of right there. So that's still in the works. So coming on around, my tomatoes are doing better. Look at Barry's Crazy Cherries bouncing back like a champ. Brad's Atomic Grape, I have one that's bounced back pretty good, and another one, I think this is actually one of the seeds that I planted. Vintage wine, I only have one, and I believe that is the seed. The other ones died. And of course, orange accordion, nothing. Like they're gone. They're dead, but I have some in my office that I started. This is black crim, still the strongest and the best. This is a pea called Little Marvel, and I am actually still getting peas. I ate some the other day, but it is still making pods, so that's good. Dr. Witchy's, the seedling came up, and something's eating it, but I have some growing in my office. Beefsteak tomatoes doing pretty good. Purple bumblebee, that's actually a really strong seedling. I'm happy about that. Super Sweet 100 hybrids. Those are indestructible apparently. That's awesome. Yellow pear, which I thought would be indestructible, is struggling. And I may not get one, and I'm not mad about that because they're not my favorite. Blue cream berries, one doing really well. And the Paul Robeson died. It was like a strong one in my office, a real strong one, and it died. But a seedling has come up, so that's good. I did plant a flat white boar pumpkin here. Last year, the squash vine boar got to it and killed it. I'm hoping I've started them early enough and then I can stay on top of the bugs. We'll see. More sunflower. This right here is a pumpkin called Casper. Look at those leaves. Those cotyledon leaves are ginormous. But there's 2 of those there. I've got some French marigolds that started very early in the season growing through the slats of the wood, and they are huge. I wouldn't be surprised if these are flowering soon. That's fun. I also have Muncher cucumber mixed in here. There's some. Oh, this is miniature white. Miniature white cucumber there. And then Muncher. Looks like something's been munching on it. Anyway, it's tiny there. Richmond green apple cucumber in there. This is my grape. This is Fredonia blue. And they are awake. Isn't that pretty? I don't know how to prune grapes. I watch videos and I think I understand what they're saying. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And then I come out here and I'm like, no, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So let's see. Anyway, I did plant sunflowers all along this back row here. Last year I had a sunflower forest, so I'd like to have the same sunflower forest, but last year it was along that other row with the tomatoes. This year it's gonna be this way. This here is another grape. This is one of the muscadine grapes, and it has already started sprouting as well. More Richmond green apple cucumber, because I want more cucumbers. I want to make some pickles this year. Anyway, so this grapevine originates down here, but it has really spread last year that way and spread this way. I got some red ants to take care of. But anyway, that's pretty much it right now. On the outside, how pretty these are. How pretty is that? Yeah, love that. Okay, compost. Let's go inside and look at some of the new beds. Like, seriously, I know it's a long video. I'm sorry. All right, so this first of the new beds here, I put mulch in the bottom. I need to put some more. I really should have put cardboard, but I didn't. I could still fix that. Anyway, this is where I put my citrus and my figs. And this first one right here is the improved Meyer lemon, and it is in complete and glorious flower. Like, there are so many, like dozens and dozens, maybe 100 flowers on here. The bees love it. It smells so good over here. And I still have lots of baby lemons, but so many more new flowers. I did fertilize yesterday because she's gonna need it. Oh, I wish it was still cloudy. Shadows everywhere. Anyway, so for these pots here, they kept blowing over. And so I had the genius idea. I had these bamboo canes. Everybody has a million bamboo canes, right? So I stuck them in the ground, like in a V shape, and I just set the pots in the middle. And no matter how windy it gets or how many storms we have, the pots don't blow over. So I'm so smart sometimes. This is my little fig here. This is brown turkey. Now, this fig here, brown turkey, and the Celeste over here, I got from one of my YouTube subscribers, Johanna. She actually lives in my area, and she brought these to me, and they were just little bitty. They haven't grown too much, but they put on some size, which is nice. But I'm happy to have those. This is a blood orange that we got last year. I see something's munching on it, but I haven't gotten any flowers yet, so we'll see. And these citrus, like, I need to put the blood orange in its own pot instead of the store-bought pot, but it's okay for right now. The citrus I plan on keeping in pots because We're quite a bit further north from Houston. Citrus in Houston seems to do fine, but we get a little bit colder up here, and I don't want them to get burned and die. Like we had a key lime, a Lisbon, and some other citrus over there, and they just kept dying because we would get too cold and they would burn back to where I would cut them down to one stick, and it was terrible. So these are staying in pots. So these bees are getting crazy. So this is my Persian lime here, also in full flower. The bees, I think that lime is ready. That lime is ready to go into one of my drinky drinks, is what it's ready to do. How pretty that is. So pretty. Okay, so this next bed here is my corn bed. And as you can see, these new beds, I didn't even screw down the wood. This is like the laziest group of beds you're ever gonna see. Lazy, that's fine. Anyway, we'll screw it together later. This is my corn. This is is it double sweet red or sweet double red? Anyway, it's a red corn. It's a red sweet corn. And we already have some corn coming up. This one I think I did this last weekend. Might have been last weekend. There's one there, one there, one there. So we got some corn. And then this stick right here is to notate where the corn stops. Oh, there we go. Double red sweet corn. Boom, 327. Okay. Now, on this side of the stick, I think I'm gonna plant some more beans, like some bush beans. Oh, look at that butterfly. That's one of those giant swallowtails. And citrus is their host plant. So they will lay babies on the citrus that look like bird poop. The caterpillars look like bird poop, and it's the funniest, weirdest thing, but that's fine. All right, so bush beans, I think. Pretty sure bush beans, and maybe some flowers. I don't know bush beans. This bed here that my friend Denise helped me build. I really wish I had raised the level of the dirt, like up before I started planting things, but you know, I make bad choices. I think we all know that. I did add a little bit of dirt to help so it wasn't so low. Anyway, it looks dumb. It's fine. I've got some basil, lettuce leaf basil I direct seeded, Pattison panache, Frenchy French, one of the squashes. There it is there. One that has come up, but I planted a few in there and they're just not coming up, and that's not unexpected. I did put some cardinal basil, some crimson king basil, and they're just not really coming up, and that's fine. That's fine. I did put some chives in there, and that looks like that chives coming up. I've got some more mammoth dill in there, which is great. Some zabroon shallots. I did get a few. Oh my God, I hate my shadows so much. So much. Let me stand over here. Okay. So, some zabroon shallots that did come up. There, wispy thing there. Here I have Kajari melon. Look at that. I'm so excited to taste this famous Kajari melon. We'll see. And then my delicata squash. I have one. That other little one died, but I have one. So those are gonna climb. It's gonna be fun. Back here, this is my official French marigold nursery. A lot of the marigolds that were in the middle there, I just scooped them up with a shovel. That's gunshots. Okay. Scooped them up with a shovel and just laid them in here. And if I end up using the stirrup hoe and hoeing all these other ones out of here to make room for vegetables, I have some here that I can grab from when I'm ready to interplant marigolds in with everything. So that's what that is. Long story. Man, I tell long stories. On the back side of this trellis, I don't have too many things. I have too many things planted on this trellis, but that's what I do. This is some more sugar magnolia tendril pea. This right here and this right here. And I think that's a sunflower. I don't know how it must have fallen out of my pocket. That's fine, that'll look pretty too. I did put a Waltham butternut there, nothing's come up yet. Like I said, too many things on this one rickety trellis. That's what I do. And then this pea here, there's a pea right here. This is the Carube de Moussaine, which is also like a purple flowered, oh, that's my glasses, purple potted pea. So that's what's in the new beds. Now let's go to the circle bed. And there's a red wasp. It's a red wasp. So I don't kill these. I don't like them, but I don't kill them. That spider is about to find out. I don't kill them because they eat worms. They eat your cabbage worms. They eat your bud worms. They're going to eat all your worms. So as long as you're not... So as long as you're not near their nest, you know where they make those paper nests, as long as you're not near their nest, they will leave you alone. And when you see them around your garden, they are patrolling all your veg. They're patrolling all of your Brendas to eat the worms. Leave the wasps alone, okay? Leave the bees alone. Leave the wasps alone. I know it's hard. I still am gonna kill the riding spiders. I can't. I'm gonna kill them. Okay, so circle bed, hello. Had to do a lot of cleanup in here. A lot of cleanup. So, first of all, this mystery rose that I don't know the name of that has a beautiful orange color that I think might be brandy, but I don't know, has a huge bloom. It's about to open. That's fantastic. Also, my autumn fire sedum came back from last year. I thought for sure they were dead, not because it was winter or fall, but because they were dying like in the middle of summer. And I'm like, well, those are dead. Anyway, this is autumn fire, and it came back, and I love it. I interplanted in here my lupins. Lupin. I put some chamomile in here. I've got some of my mammoth dill in here. This is a pretty pink rose that doesn't have a bloom on it yet. I dug up some of the Walker's Low catmint and put it in here. This is one of my vintage white straw flowers there. This is a Duranta, and it is called Golden Edge, and it died back to the ground. This is coming up from the roots, so it's a little bit cold hardy here, but not entirely. So this came back. I have two other ones. I don't see any growth on them at all, any growth on the stumps, so this may be the only one that returns. This is a rose called St. Patrick. It's a yellow rose, but the yellow has like a green hue to it. It's very pretty. It's a very watery yellow with a green hue. Pretty. Oh, and I almost glossed over my salvia. This is a salvia that I have totally forgotten the name of, but it has a very pretty blue flower, like a true blue, like a blue. And it is coming back from the roots. See, I did cut it back here, but it's coming back, and it looks like it's a spreader. It is spreading. That's fine, because it's pretty. This green spreading mound here is a a chrysanthemum. I think it's called White Wedding, maybe, or Bridal White, one of those. Anyway, it has white flowers, and it is definitely spreading. I see it spreading, and I have some Bermuda grass. Stuff is the devil. Here's a mini rose. I think it's yellow. No, is it pink? I don't remember. It's just, I know it's small. It's a small one. This is another yellow rose here. I have a lot of yellow. There's some more of that mum. This is a yellow rose called something sun king, sun something. Anyway, gilded sun, boom, gilded sun. I've got more lupin. This was an autumn joy sedum that definitely died because it didn't come back. It's dead. More of the vintage white straw flower. I did plant a coleus in here, and it's supposed to be like a sun coleus, but it may just be too hot and intense, or it hasn't acclimated from my office yet. Anyway, and I did plant a milkweed. It's struggling because it's probably too small to be out here. That's my swamp milkweed that I grew from seed January 27th, and that's all we got. So there's that. This is Eternal Flame, another yellow rose, and it is about to bloom. Look at that. Look at that big, beautiful bloom. That's pretty. That's nice. Here I planted my bunny tails grass that I grew from seed. I've got 3 of them here. This is my big lupin, my best seedling right there. And then my one and only silvery rose straw flower. Hold on. I only got 1 seedling to come up, and it is bug eaten. But anyway, that's my silvery rose straw flower. This bush right here, this is a white margin snow rose. And I had it in this terracotta pot all last year, and it was just struggling so hard. And I finally got it in the ground, so there we go. That's a variegated shrub that gets really pretty white flowers. Very pretty. So, whew. Oh, and there's my solar butterfly that I love a lot. Okay. We made it, folks. We did. We made it. Okay, so there we go. First Potager update for 2022 growing season. Yeah, I'm excited. Everything looks good. This is my favorite place to be. Okay, I'm rambling now. I do that. To all you new people, I'm a rambler. And a talker. Okay. Oh, bird bath. I forgot to show you. Yeah. I added this bird bath that was in the backyard. I put it here for the butterflies and the bees to have a little, they can have a drink when I'm walking around having my drink. So, okay guys, we're done. Thank you so much for watching. There's a bug in my eye.